Hello and welcome back. I have a special guest with me here, Jake, who has been in the program, and I'm super excited to go over your journey so far, kind of where you started, which was kind of like a brand new online coaching business, to now where you are. Thank you so much for coming on. If you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name's Jacob Waite. When her and I started working together, I was just like, I think it was only 2 months into launching my coaching business. And it's funny because I'm one of those guys that when I decide to do something, I just jump in both feet. And I decided I'm going to launch a coaching business. So I quit my job that I had forever, and just went all in. And Emily found me at just the right time because I was struggling, those first 2 months. I thought I had a plan, and then reality hits and you realize like, oh man, I really don't know what I'm doing.
Mhm.
So when it came to the marketing and the funnel, she saved my butt for sure.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that, kind of where you were. I think it's very commendable that you just burned all the ships and said, I'm gonna go full in on this coaching business. What sparked that desire to go and start a coaching business?
It's funny. So I was working a blue collar job, and it was something I realized that it wasn't what I wanted to do my whole life. And so I started thinking like, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to have my own business. What is that going to look like? And so I kind of assessed my skills and everything. And I have a friend who he's a entrepreneur coach, right? Where he works with entrepreneurs and stuff. And we were talking, and I was like, hey, I want to launch a business. Maybe you can help me out. And as we were talking, he's like, dude, why don't you just launch a coaching business? And I was like, whoa, like maybe I should, and then I looked into it, and I'm a pretty spiritual guy, and I did a lot of thinking on it, a lot of praying on it, and I just felt really good and really secure with my decision to launch this business. And my wife and I, at the time, she was pregnant with baby number 6, and I'm coming to her and I'm like, hey, I'm going to quit my full-time job and I want to launch this business. And my wife and I, we have such a beautiful relationship that she just trusts me so much. And she's like, if that's what you want to do, let's do it. And she just had, I had her full support, and we started that journey. It was awesome.
Wow. So you had that desire and then you were just about to have a baby and decided to quit your full-time job, which I feel like logically may not have made the most sense, but
Right.
you felt in your heart that it was right.
Yeah, I did,
Yeah.
and it's funny along the journey, everything that could have gone wrong, I felt like did go wrong, but I mean, we're still here, so it's kind of exciting.
Yeah. So what were your first steps when you wanted to start your coaching business?
So what I did was the first steps I did was I started building a program, right? I decided what type of coach I wanted to be, which was a relationship coach, because I feel like I mean, every aspect of your life, relationships are so important. And if you can't figure out the relationships, then and you can't figure out how to truly connect with people, then it doesn't matter. You could be the best fitness person or money person or whatever, but it always comes down to relationships, I feel like. So I decided, okay, I'm going to be a relationship coach. And then what I started to do was I started to build a program and decide what that was going to look like. Kind of like I didn't have all the answers and I really didn't know what I was doing, but I was like, I'm going to figure it out along the way. So that's kind of the attitude I have.
Mm. Wow. Okay. So you reached out to your community, and how many clients did you get through that process?
I did get a few. I did a mentoring program for the youth. So in my church, I'm a youth Sunday school teacher, and I really enjoy, teaching and doing that. So I had this program called the Wolf Pup program, mentorship program, where all these like youth in the community would get together, and I would do like these big classes. And I started doing that, and it started generating a little bit of revenue. And then yeah, I was able to close, about 3 one-on-one clients who are excited to work with me. And it's kind of cool because the original 3 that I signed are still people who are with me to this day, who've renewed, who've, really been a huge help in spreading, what I'm able to do. So they're a huge blessing. And then I just started focusing more on one-on-one instead of like a big group. And it's kind of where we're at.
Wow. So they've stayed with you this entire time.
Yes.
And so after you got those 3 clients, what was your next step?
So my next step was, so what I did was I realized that I needed help, right? That I needed to figure this out and I had to scale up. And so I signed up with a coaching program that was going to teach me how to coach, and it was also going to teach me how to market, right? And do everything organically. And when it comes to technology, I'm a lot better now, but before I just zero skills with anything to do with technology. And so when they were advertising, hey, you don't have to run ads, you don't have to do any of this stuff. Um, it's all organic. It was appealing to me. I was like, oh, let's just do that. So I got all the savings that I had built up and everything, and I just invested it all into this program, right? And um, it was scary because I just wasn't getting the results I wanted right away, especially when it came to marketing. It just wasn't working. And it's funny because I was at a point where I was broke because I just invested all my money into this program, and the results weren't coming. So I was like, man, I'm gonna have to go back to work. I'm gonna have to just put this on hold and start a job somewhere else. And it was funny because it just perfect timing. Right place, right time. So the whole running ads and doing all that stuff was very intimidating to me and very overwhelming. And it was cool because I was like, well, if I'm gonna make it in an online coaching business, then I need to figure this out, and I can't, try to shun that work or try to get around that. And so when you told me you had a strategy for all that and then I was going to learn all that, it was very appealing to me. And it was cool because as soon as we started working together, um, we, just the whole breakdown of like scripting everything out, and what I really appreciated about you, Emily, through the process was when I had this idea and I thought it was great, and you would look at it, you'd be like, it could be better. Let's try again. Oh, it could be better. You know what I mean? And just like really pushing me to like think outside the box and really script things out in a big way. It's cool because as I was doing that and setting my funnel up, it just got me huge results. And if I didn't have you there to tell me, hey, it could be better, then I would have spent so much time thinking like, oh, this is good, and then not getting results, not getting results, not getting results. And then all of a sudden, a year later, I'm like, oh, maybe I need to change it. You know what I mean? It was awesome having that guidance right off the bat. Um, Somebody told me, hey, it needs to be so much better and it needs to look like this for you to get results. So honestly, it saved me so much time, right? Just knowing that. Yeah. So my biggest problem from day one, and it's something that I'm still working on being better at always, but it's just getting those people, those potential clients booked onto my call calendar and turn them into paying clients, right? And it's pretty awesome because before I was trying to do it all organically, and I was just spending hours and hours and hours just like cold messaging and commenting on other people's posts, and and it just wasted, or it didn't waste, but I invested so much time, right? And it was like time I didn't have because there was so much going on, and I'm like, I need to be making content, I need to be coaching people, I need to be thinking on how to perfect my program and really be impactful as a coach and a leader, but I'm spending all of my time on outreach, like all of my time, you know, and I'm like, I'm a hard worker, and so put in just the hours and hours and hours. And it's pretty cool because once we set up that funnel and we got the right content going and we got the ads running, um, it was the reverse. I had people coming to me, and it was just so nice not having to spend just hours and hours and hours, almost like trying to get these people. Instead, I'm running the right type of ads, I'm running the right type of content, and I'm warming people up, and they're coming to me. It's awesome.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, like putting all the puzzle pieces together basically saves so much time when you have the right strategy in place. And yeah, I know the feeling of cold DMing and like cold emailing. People hop on calls with you and they're like, "Well, I'm here because you asked." So it's just like a way different relationship when you can hop on that call when the person comes to you for help. They're so much more open and usually are willing to invest more when they come to you. Yeah, I wanted to ask, what was the most impactful thing during this process?
So the most impactful thing during this process was definitely, um, just the way I really enjoyed learning the psychology of marketing, right? On how to connect with people, how to be a good marketer. Because it's funny because you could say all the right things, but you got to say the right things, if that makes sense. Like you gotta word it just right. Like I love how I already had a program set up and I called it certain things, and you're like, hey, let's make it sound better. You know what I mean? Let's make it sound more awesome, and connect better with people. And we went through and we changed the titles of the pillars and we set those pillars up, and we simplified it. I felt like I was overcomplicating it a little bit. So like the fact that we simplified it was very impactful. And then something else that I really appreciated is, the community you've built has been phenomenal. Like I'm thinking about, because I'm 5 months in and it's a 6 month program. I'm actually thinking like, oh man, I don't get to be part of this community anymore. You know what I mean? It almost kind of makes me sad because the community is so awesome, you know. And you got sales coaches hopping on group trainings, you got content coaches that are hopping on and teaching all these things. So it's not just like a marketing funnel, but it's okay. Well, once you get these people coming to you, what do you do? And so you're making sure that we're trained up as far as sales go, right? And how to do that. And then also the content, right? The type of content we're putting out and warming these people up. And so very, very impactful, all of it. I would, just reach out, and I would connect with people, and I'd be like, hey, let's get on a call. It's a free call. And they're like, okay, like you seem like an okay guy. Let's hop on a call. And they didn't really know what to expect. And so it was lacking frame, it was lacking structure. I would explain it to them. And I'm a pretty charismatic guy, and I've had sales experience in the past. And so I would get so frustrated because I'm like, man, why isn't this working? And now my closing rate's a ton better. If I get a call booked, I'm so much more confident that I'm either going to, like, if this guy's a right fit for my program and it's going to help him out, I'm very confident that, like, hey, let's figure out a way to move forward.
Mhm.
There's not that like, hey, come work with me, give me money. It's like, hey, if this is going to help you, let's figure out how to help you and provide value for you. And if it's going to help you, then we're going to find a way to move forward. So
Yeah,
it's definitely different for sure.
I love that. And then the other piece you said was the content too. So how has your content shifted?
Yeah, my content shifted. Yeah, my wife and I were just laughing about this the other day. We were looking at my original videos that I would post. They're so bad, but I mean, and it's funny because like just the right messaging. I mean, you got literal seconds to make an impact, and you got to just do it in the right way. And it's cool because since working with you just on the social media aspect, especially this past like month, I've gotten like, I mean, just thousands upon thousands of brand new followers, and it's like the right type of followers, people who are connecting with the message, people who are taking the value from it. And it's cool because as you build that community and that audience, it's like they feed off each other. You know what I mean? It's like they leave awesome comments, awesome messages that I get to share. I was just going through today, seeing all these awesome messages and comments that people have left, and I'm screenshotting them, and I'm sharing it on my stories a lot better. And I realized like, man, I haven't been doing that, but it's coming, and it's just really awesome to have the right type of audience interacting with you, and the fact that you're actually helping people, right?
Yeah. Because even if they don't sign up with you, you're still making that impact, which I think is so key to being a prosperous coach in this space. Someone that someone can look up to. If you can solve their problems for free, then they're more than likely going to want to work with you and pay you to solve even bigger problems down the line. I feel
Yep.
like you have an audience, you're good, like you're set. The biggest dogs in the space, they all have audiences, and they can always create abundance from that if they have people who are willing to pay for their services. So it's so key. So what is your main bottleneck right now? Because you said you gained all of these new followers.
Yeah, so my main bottleneck is like having too many people reaching out to me. You know what I mean? Like just staying on top of the DMs, and taking all of this new attention and transferring it over to paid clients, right? And it's funny because I just got a new setter that started today, and it's looking awesome, and it's a good problem to have. Yeah, I'm excited, but that's probably my biggest bottleneck right now. I went from like no interaction from people on social media to like too much almost. You know what I mean? And it's incredible, and I'm excited to see, once that bottleneck's figured out, and we get a process down, it's golden. I'm excited for how many people I'm going to help.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. All of these like new people that are coming in, that's going to create even more impact. So that's awesome that you went from no interaction, no one coming to you, to now too many people to reach out to and being overwhelmed with like the amount of people reaching out. So yeah, that's awesome. And
Which is funny because just a few months ago, like I was saying, is I was like reaching out and just organically trying to get people's attention, and now it's completely flipped the other way. So it's kind of cool.
yeah, so where is your time being placed now? Since you said that, your time was mainly going through organic and reaching out to these people, what are you now spending a lot of your time doing?
Yeah, so I've dedicated a lot of my time lately on educating myself, right? On just really diving deep and really pushing my knowledge and my education in this field so that I can be more impactful, right? And I love books, and I love to read, and I love to consume knowledge, and it's just hard before, where you're just spending all your time, organically trying to grow and reach out and market and stuff, and so now I feel like I have that freedom to just dive deep into my education, right? And then also the clients that I do have, just really coaching them, figuring out what they need, and being more impactful that way is taking up a lot of my time. And then just the type of content, just the thought I put into my content and what I want to say. And now that I have an audience, right, it's like, okay, what do I want to say? What's going to be the most impactful for people and the most valuable for people?
Mm.
So that's kind of where my time's at these
That's
days.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's less of going out and trying to chase after these people. You've kind of built this garden and you're allowing the people to come to you. So now your time is being spent really building a strong foundation. And I think that's amazing that you are continually improving your knowledge as a coach so that you can continue to impact these people and become the best coach for marriages out there, like putting divorce lawyers out of business. That's the goal.
Yo, that's the plan.
I love it. So, how many clients did you have before we started working together?
Yeah, so I just had, a small handful, like three, consistent clients. I had a few, they would come in for a month and then leave or whatever, you know what I mean? But like consistently, like three, right? And now I have like 10, that I'm working with,
Wow.
and that I'm coaching every week. And it's kind of cool. It's a good problem to have, where I'm figuring out, how to juggle all of them, making sure that they're all taken care of and stuff, and that takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time and a lot of energy to coach somebody. It really does. And so it's nice to put that towards them.
Yeah. Yeah, a big difference for sure. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. Is there anything that you would, any other like details that you'd like to mention to anyone who's watching right now or anyone who's thinking of
Yeah.
listening?
Yeah. So Emily, you really helped me switch my mindset when I first started coming in when it comes to content. I wanted that viral video. I'm like, man, I want to go viral. I want all these eyes on my page. And I remember you telling me like, no, you don't want that. You want the right audience. You want the right eyes on your page. If you just go viral all the time, you're speaking to all these people, right? But you want to dial in and have your specific message reach specific people, right? So like even if it's like only 10 people versus like thousands, it's like if you can connect with those 10 people that need it and need to hear it, then that's what's important. That's what you need to focus on,
Mm.
you know. And it's funny because I shifted. I was like, okay, that's a great point. And then it's anyway, that mindset helped me shift a lot. And now when I put my content out, it's like that's the attitude I have, right? I'm not trying to go viral. I'm trying to connect with those few people who need to hear my message, right?
Wow. Yeah, that's a huge shift to have. I feel like so many coaches have been taught in this space that going viral will get you clients. And so they try and focus on creating viral videos. Some of them don't even know how to convert their followers. So, like setting up the foundations, what you're doing, creating a funnel and speaking to the right prospects. You don't need like a huge audience. You just need the right people coming to you, which is exactly what you have. So, yeah, thank you so much for coming on.